Hey everyone, if you're watching this video after the live feed ends, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take a couple seconds here, a couple minutes, to shuffle some cards out for each rising sign, because this only applies to the rising sign, guys. So check the live feed. My moderator, Jennifer Estrada, she's going to be there to fill you guys in and let you guys know extra information while I'm shuffling everything out, okay? You won't be able to hear me, but after I'm going to come back on, we'll start and we'll talk about everything, okay? Hey, what's going on, everyone? Go ahead and kind of just talk about a couple stuff while I shuffle these cards out, okay, guys? Just waiting for people to come in the room, and Jennifer is my moderator. All right, guys? All right, guys, I'm almost done, okay? Hang in there. Are you Capricorn risings? What's going on with y'all? The cards are all stuck right now. Capricorn rising. We'll talk about it. Also, guys, get your guys' natal charts ready so you guys can reference them, okay? If you guys have them. Remember, only rising sign this applies to. What is going on, everyone? All right. So I have all these cards right here laid out. We're just, as we go along with this, I'm going to go ahead and display the cards that kind of popped out for the energy. All right, guys. So how the hell has everyone been freaking feeling? Let me tell you that I have been purging my fucking life away, okay? And I hate to curse, but it's that serious, guys. Black Moon Lilith is just going around, just throwing karma where it belongs. And I mean, oh my God, it's even stressful for us. Like, ask Jennifer, like, sometimes I'm calling her and I'm just like, oh my God, what the fuck? Why did I choose this chart in this life? Like, oh my God, he'll just readings too. I'm always in contact with her and it's the same thing. It's crazy. Anyway, we always have to remember, guys, you know, we're always on the right path, regardless if it feels horrible and it seems like we're not, and we're going through this damn Mars over the damn South Node, and you drive yourself crazy. You're always on the path. You're always supposed to be exactly where you are, because remember, this has all been predetermined already. So we're just experiencing it for the first time through our reality here. All right. So, all right, guys. So Neptune is retrograde, right? Now, Neptune, the most spiritual planet, guys, ruled by Pisces in the 12th house defaultly. Neptune is the most watery planet, guys. I mean, I'm talking, I think it's like 85% water or something like that. I remember watching, I forgot who or where I watched it, somewhere on YouTube, how Neptune literally just has depths of water. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that, but yeah. So, and it's a far out planet, guys. So any of the far out planets, like, you know, Saturn, maybe with the exception of Saturn, but still Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all of those planets, right? When they say that they go retrograde, now they'll use two terms, you know, they'll say stationary and they'll also say direct. Now, stationary means that literally before it goes retrograde, when it's like station retrograde, they'll say sometimes, it means it's literally just standing still in the damn sky. It's like not even moving. It's right there, right? So, and then when it says direct, it means it's starting to move. Now, and then when it's no longer retrograde, it'll say it's stationed or it's direct. Now, just as a reminder, rising signs, guys, this only applies to your rising signs. Please, just the rising sign. I know a lot of astrologers, and I want to damn strangle them by the neck when they say, this can apply to your sun, moon, and rising. No, 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 no. There's only one exception, and I'm not even going to say it here because I just don't want anyone to, you know, get confused. But it is to your rising sign. Guys, listen to me. Any single, with the exception of tarot, okay? Because tarot's different. But with astrology, any damn one you watch, okay? From any reader, anything. Whenever you watch astrology, guys, it's always only your rising sign. Your rising sign is where your chart starts. That's where the houses come in. So your first house is going to be what your rising sign is, and the second one is the next zodiac sign, and so forth and so on. It goes all the way around. So your sun sign is usually in a completely different house than, sometimes it's not, but it's usually in a completely different house, right? So then they're talking about whatever that rising sign, the house that it's going to be affected in, and your sun sign is in a completely different sign. So you're out here fucking manifesting something that's not even supposed to be happening. And I don't know why they always do that, and it drives me insane. Now, remember, guys, so this is only your rising sign, okay? If you don't know your rising sign, maybe you could still check it out, you know, and then maybe come back. I can also help you find your rising sign, or you can go to astro.com, plug in your information. You have to know your time of birth, guys. Like I always say, I mean, you can trust your mamas. My mom knew, you know, but some moms don't, you know. So always look at the birth certificate, guys. Just look at the birth certificate. It's just the best to get that reference. That's the closest time you're going to get. And it's on the full sheet, not the half sheet. Okay. Anyway. All right. So guys, Neptune is retrograde. It went retrograde. Now it's direct retrograde in a sense. June 18th. And it's going to be until November 24th. And since it's a far out planet, guys, when they say the retrograde's over, it literally takes about 2 weeks for Neptune just to even get going again because it's so far out. Give or take, you know, just depends. But so yeah, November 24th, it's no longer retrograde, but it's still going to be stationed up to a certain point, and then it'll go direct in about a week, give or take, sometimes 2 weeks. Yeah, because I think Pluto takes like 84 years to orbit around the whole sun one time. It's a long fucking time. So Neptune's a little bit different. I can't remember exactly. It's like 60 something. All right, guys. So yeah, Neptune retrograde. What does Neptune retrograde kind of mean? It's a review. Remember, guys, any retrograde, it's about a review. That's what the hell it is. So it's time for us to look at something. Now, whatever happened either in a past life, you know, or whatever happened during when Neptune wasn't retrograde in your past, anything that may have went wrong or that you may have done wrong, that was done wrong to you, because, you know, karma is there regardless, good or bad, done to you, or it's done to other people because of you. It's going to catch up, okay? And it's a review. So things are going to come back in the same manner as to which it did when it wasn't retrograde. Now, it may be with different people, different circumstances, but it's pretty much the same thing. Let's see. Oh no, only you. Thank you for asking that. No, tarot's different. You can watch, you can do sun, moon, and rising for tarot. That's a completely different thing. But with astrology, when it's like like Leo King, and I hate to mention all these people, but any people like that, when they talk about just astrology, it is only rising. Okay. For tarot, you can do sun, moon, and rising. All right. So yeah, it's a review, guys. So these things are going to come back up for review, and the whole point of a review is to see. Let's say, right, when, for instance, since it's Neptune, right? So when Neptune wasn't retrograde, let's say, I don't know, you took an ex back, okay? And you knew that ex was going to do you wrong. And you took him or her back, and then it went wrong. You know what I mean? And you were like, damn, I should have trusted myself. I really should have trusted myself. The chat just went out. There we go. I should have trusted myself, you know? And then when Neptune retrograde comes back again, or when it goes retrograde, if it's a same ex, a different ex, it may happen again, where then you are put in that position that you were before, and then it's a test, or I don't like to use the word test, but it's a review. So you're going to then be reviewed again and see if you're going to make the same mistake and not listen to yourself. You know what I mean? It's not going to be just that. It'll be different circumstances for different people based upon your soul contract. But yeah. And then if you don't take that ex back, then that means you spiritually have grown. And then you'll see the benefits from it when Neptune isn't retrograde any longer. Once it goes direct and it's moving, you know, at its normal pace, you'll receive all those blessings. You know what I mean? But it's fucking hell when you go through it. So that's just a retrograde in general. Now, I wrote down something here that I feel like this Neptune retrograde, what it's going to be about. So let me take a little drink here. I'm getting damn dry. So guys, this is what I wrote down. Our illusions lead to escapism, which manifest alternate false realities in which our perception creates, leaving us left to wallow in our own vices. Denial becomes unbelievably real and debilitates us while shattering our headstrong, self-indulgent ego. The destruction of our fantasy world exposes our avoidances, stripping us down to the core of our true intentions and motives. Then realization kicks in as change is implemented, and self-deception insatiably devours our entire being and devours us whole. Here, the universe forces us to face reality without any regard for our feelings, our personal volition, or any of our invented excuses that veer us away from taking personal responsibility of our own self-demise. Now, I know that was a mouthful, but that's pretty much how I feel this particular Neptune retrograde is going to feel like or be like. And after looking at that shit, I'm like, yeah, it's about right. I'll be going through it too. Remember, you guys have to remember, you know, people like all of us have the ability, but people like me, people like other readers on YouTube, you know what I mean? If not all are, if they're connected, we channel and we feel the collective consciousness, the collective emotion. So we understand that we're part of the collective, but it's a little bit sometimes difficult, and especially if you're a twin, I know a lot of you are, and you do channel the collective consciousness. You have your twin's energy, your energy, and the collective consciousness. That's three. Now, if you're not a twin, then it's only two. But it's a lot for us readers sometimes because we don't know what the hell is ours and what the hell is the collective consciousness. Now, a skilled reader, of course, like, you know, someone like me, I know I can try to decipher, but sometimes it's very, very difficult because remember, we're part of the collective, so we go through it as well with you guys. So us readers, you gotta, yeah, I would suggest guys listening to my podcast that I started. I made a podcast, one called The Intention of Tarot. You guys should really check that out. You guys really need to know your guys' readers, and you guys really should know who you're going to and who you're listening to and what the what that person is like. It's very important. I would just suggest listening to it. All right, guys. It's uploaded on the channel. All right. So what's interesting is that, remember, we still have Saturn retrograde and we still have Pluto retrograde as well until September. Both of them end. But then since they're far out, it takes about a week for them just to even get going or to go back into a normal orbit. Now, just as a reminder, guys, Saturn retrograde is limitations, restrictions, and guilt. And Pluto retrograde is also stands for the misuse of power, either you on other people, placing on other people, or other people placing it on you. So if you guys remember in my last planetary updater, I think it was the first one I did. Yeah, I think it was back in April, if I'm not mistaken. I talked about what Saturn and Pluto retrograde was going to mean. It just basically means, guys, that we're going to see where we have power and where we don't. And we're going to release that power and that restriction that we place on other people if we do that, because then we're going to be on the receiving end of it. And literally, guys, karma's crazy right now. Even in my own family, it's acting out. If you do something spiteful, you know that you know it's not for your higher self. And especially, guys, if you're spiritually aware, it may be a little bit different for people who aren't. But if you are and you still do something spiteful, I mean, I hate to say that it's going to happen kind of thing, but, you know, but whatever. But just listen. But karma is starting to play out so damn fast now. Literally, like, it'll happen like 2 or 3 days later. Someone will put power over you. Like, it's crazy, dude. It's insane. But always protect yourself. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay. Also, as a reminder too, with retrograde, it's not, a lot of people say it's moving backwards. It's not necessarily moving backwards, the planet. The best way I can describe it is this. When you're on the freeway, right? Yeah, exactly. Only you. Saturn retrograde right now. Yes. So that's why Black Moon Lilith, she's having a damn ball right now because she's in Capricorn. And Saturn is usually the karma delegator. He's retrograde right now. So all of his exuding energy is introverted. You know, whenever planets retrograde, they become introverted. So Black Moon Lilith is like literally, the way that I can picture it is she's literally like the newspaper man, just bloop, driving, bloop, just handing out damn karma to whoever deserves it and whoever is supposed to get it. Anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, it's not moving backwards, the planet, from our perspective on Earth. It looks like that. The best way I can describe it is this. My nose is itching, guys. It's crazy. A lot of people are in y'all business, maybe. Anyway, 2 cars, right? You're driving on the damn freeway. You're going, you know, you're in this car and then this is the car next to you. You guys are going. And if you guys are going the same speed, it looks like, you know, you guys are moving together. But if you were to speed up just a little bit, it would go like this. And if you were to look outside, it would look like the car next to you is going backwards, but it's not. Just from your perspective, it looks like it because you sped up a little bit. The one who sped up are all the other planets, and the one who is maintaining the same speed is the retrograde planet. So it looks like it's moving backwards, but it's just literally either stopped or it's moving slower than it originally does. That's the best example that I can kind of get. Ooh, cat lady. Oh, Lord. Yeah. I mean, in my chart, I have Black Moon Lilith conjunct Pluto in Scorpio. It's crazy. All right, so let's start, guys, okay? I'm going to start with Pisces, and we're going to move all the way down because for Pisces rising, it starts in the first house for you guys since Neptune is retrograde in Pisces, okay? All right, guys, so Pisces rising, this is going to be your first house. So it's the house of the ego, the self, morals, your ethics, your dignity, your self-assertion, your beliefs, and your experiences. And also every one that I talk about here, guys, remember, review. So these things are going to come up for you. These things are going to come up for you, whatever your rising sign is, for review of situations that went wrong in the past when Neptune was not retrograde, you know? So once again, Pisces rising, guys, ego, self, morals, ethics, dignity, self-assertion, in a little bit of a sense. I look at the first house as, I wear red on Wednesdays because when I was in a car crash, I didn't end up dying. So therefore, I believe that I should wear red on Wednesdays because of that. Like that. That's what the first house is. It's who you think you are, you know, or your morals that you apply. So for Pisces rising, guys, remember, first house, identity issues are going to come up, guys, okay? Emotional vulnerability issues. I don't like to call them issues because we all damn have them, but yeah, emotional vulnerability, even maybe the way that you maybe have certain situations that you have applied to your life. Like maybe, for instance, let's say like you were sitting somewhere and two other people were sitting far away. They didn't realize that you were hearing them talk about you. And then maybe if that affected you and like you took it and really applied it to your life, and then it ended up kind of hindering you from moving forward, situations like that is going to come up. So like that's like an emotional vulnerability, maybe issues or concerns. Also, confusion versus reality. Okay, Pisces rising, that's the one that's going to come up for you during this time for review, maybe. And also, be careful, Pisces rising, because during this time, you guys can be a little bit sensitive. Your ruling planet is retrograde right now. And always your rising sign, guys, that planet, for the most part, for mostly all of us, the rising sign, the planet that rules that sign, that's your ruling planet. A lot of people say, you know, it's your sun sign. It's not. It's your rising. Remember, everything's always based on your rising sign, guys, when it's strictly astrology. So be careful, Pisces rising. You guys, this time you're going to be extra sensitive. Your guys is, unless you have Neptune retrograde in your chart, it may not affect you as so, or maybe not as much, but if you don't have it retrograded in your chart, it's really going to affect you if you don't, for everyone. But for Pisces rising, you guys may attract narcissists right now. So be very, very, very careful during this time. Don't be all paranoid, you know, but just make sure that, you know, be aware of these things. And that's why I'm telling you guys this information, okay? So for Pisces rising, those issues are going to come up. So identity issues, emotional vulnerability, confusion versus reality, and also attracting narcissists, okay? And maybe being a little bit more sensitive than you maybe already are. So for that, for Pisces rising, we got the 4 of Pentacles here and the 10 of Cups reversed. So for these two cards here, that's interesting. Confusion versus reality. Confusion, reality. We have to match them up, guys, because what can happen here, really honestly, we need to remember what to hold on to and what's important to hold on to and what to let go and to not cling on to, because then we may come into non-committal situations, especially emotional non-committal situations. All right, guys? It's interesting. All right. Oh, also, guys, whatever is for Pisces rising, whatever else is in your first house, any planets that are going to be there, if they're conjunct, you're going to feel that as well. So it's going to be a kind of a mix of all of those planets. If there are any planets within your first house, especially close to your ascendant line, you're going to feel that as well. It's going to be intermixed with that. And if you see those planets that are in your first house, if there are any, when you look at that, you look at the, so it's first house, Pisces, okay? So remember, ego, the self, the moral, let's say Mercury is in your first house, let's say. So it's going to have a lot to do also with your intellect mixed with that. If Venus is in your first house, it's going to have to do with the way that you love and you appreciate and also how you relate to other people. If it's Mars is in your first house, it's going to be your self-assertion. It's going to be your temperament, your aggression, the way that you move forward. You handle situations that needs your ego in a sense. So I don't want to go through each planet, but we have to look at that too, guys. Remember, only you're funny. Yeah, I've been feeling like that too sometimes. But yeah, so whatever planets are in your first house as well, if there are any, or in any of the houses that I mentioned for you guys, for each rising sign, if there's any planets in there, it can be conjunct. So therefore, it'll be in a mixed effect of that, okay? Also for Pisces rising, there's a lot of, okay, I'm going to talk about also, guys, your opposite house. So for Pisces rising, the first house, the opposite house, any planets in the opposite house is immediately, I wouldn't say 6 houses away or 6 houses away or 6 signs away, same thing, is an immediate opposition to that house. Okay, so for Pisces, first house is here, then the opposite house is the 7th house. Every opposite house, almost, guys, for every single sign is Virgo. It's very strange. I don't understand how that happened, but it's very weird. So just follow that. But it's interesting how it's Virgo because it's review and working towards these things, self-improvement, self-awareness. Interesting. So for Pisces rising, guys, the opposite house is the 7th house. So Virgo is in your guys' 7th house. So be careful with criticism, scrutiny, judgment, and the background chatter. Okay, I'm a Virgo sun. I get it. It's the way you speak to yourself, Pisces. Okay, so Pisces rising, the things that have to do with the ego, the self, identity issues, emotional vulnerability. Be careful how you speak to yourself and be careful how you criticize yourself and also other people in situations. Look at situations and say, what can I vibrationally take away from here? What am I here to learn? What can I learn instead of saying what happened? You know, we're never the victim, guys. We're the lighthouse, okay? All right. So, and also if you have your moon in your 7th house, Pisces rising, be careful. I have my moon in my 7th house, which is anyone's 7th house. All our 7th house is our descendant. So it's our shadow side. So if your moon is there, your emotions and what you need have a lot to do with how well you handle your shadow side, you know? So you have to be careful with that if your moon is in your 7th house for any of the rising signs. All right. Aquarius rising. This is going to be in your 2nd house. So the 2nd house defaultly stands for, it's ruled by Taurus, but that's just the default ruling planet and sign. So Aquarius rising in your 2nd house, it's going to stand for value systems, guys. Money earned and gained, your pocketbook, your self-value and your self-worth in terms of how you view your self-worth, how you view if materialistic things define your self-worth, like money. If money, you feel like if you don't have enough money or make a certain amount of money, then you are worthless. If you think that, or you're less than, careful with that. Also, yeah, materialistic possessions and life's comforts. So guys, Aquarius rising, I should say. I'm used to saying so everyone, but Aquarius rising, so 2nd house. So be careful with possessiveness. Money and material possessions, and inner sense and self-worth to money and possessions as well as to other areas of life. You know, you think that if you don't drive a car that's more than $70,000, you're like this, or you put into this category. Be careful with believing that and thinking that. Wealth comes in many different shapes and forms. So also Aquarius rising, unnecessary attachments may come up during this time, financial or materialistic things dictating your actions, okay? And also gambling, if any of you guys gamble. Be careful during this time. Be careful getting caught up in like giving money to certain situations that may not be for your best benefit, getting caught up in the moment because it's possessiveness. It's what am I worth? It's a lot about self-worth in the 2nd house. And my ass has Pluto in the 2nd house. Ugh. Anyway, see, even though us readers were screwed up too, shoot. So Aquarius rising, be careful with these areas in life, okay? And value systems, the way that you value yourself and how you see yourself and your self-worth based upon how much you have. Be careful with that, guys. All right, Aquarius rising. So for Aquarius rising, we got... We have the Page of Swords reversed for Aquarius rising. And, oh, shoot, the Star card. You guys came up in your own damn little spreads here. Okay, so let's see. Be careful with communication coming in. Be very careful with that, okay? With the Page of Swords reverse, also be careful what you say to yourself. Be careful with who you hang around with during this time. Because you don't want it to affect who you are. You don't want it to affect hope and having optimism within your life, Aquarius rising, okay? This is interesting that these cards came up here. I don't even know what was popped out. When some of them I did, but this is crazy. Be careful, Aquarius rising, okay? During this time, really be gentle with yourself. Go over how you view yourself. Be careful with things coming, information coming in, and you taking that towards your self-worth, okay? If it's negative, be careful with that. All right, so for, your opposite house, Aquarius rising, is going to be the 8th house here, with the 2nd house, this happening in your 2nd house. So criticism, judgment, again, Virgo, criticism, judgment, and background chatter and scrutinizing. Be careful with those areas pertaining to everything I talked about. So Capricorn rising, when I was shuffling, that was weird. And I was I shuffled and then I went to bridge it so it comes back together and then went the whole deck. And I was like, what the hell? And all of a sudden I got a message. my guides, or my higher self, I should say, said, just like that. And I went, what do you mean? And they didn't say anything else, but it was just like that. So be careful, Capricorn rising. I don't want to install fear in anyone, but I'm just saying, Capricorn rising. All questions, guys, I'll answer them at the end. I may look over, but you're welcome, only you. So Capricorn rising, this is going to happen in your 3rd house. All right. So the 3rd house is defaultly ruled by Gemini and defaultly Mercury, so it's going to be communication. Also, Capricorn rising, siblings, neighbors, cousins, communication, contracts, agreements, those areas, okay, are going to come up. So be careful with communication. Be careful with also, why is my nose itching so much? This is weird. Be careful with communication. Be careful with being very clear. Make sure you're very clear during this time. Look over things once more, look over things, look over the email, look over before maybe you say anything, especially in maybe situations where you may be kind of prodded and poked and provoked, which Saturn and Pluto retrograde mean being provoked. Be careful with that as well. Saturn is your ruling planet, so that's retrograde. It's crazy. So Capricorn rising, be careful with just sending things out. Be careful with communication, especially, like I said, if you're being provoked or you're in the heat of the moment, be sure to stop yourself and just go real quick. Take 2 seconds to ask yourself, what I'm about to say, is it going to be the situation better than I found it, or is it not? And be careful with that, with communication and being misunderstood during this time and you misunderstanding other things. And also spiritual truth, Capricorn rising, during this time as well. Finding what the truth is for you spiritually and how you express that, what you say and how you say it. Is it matching up? Are you walking the walk? That kind of thing. You talk the talk, you're going to walk the walk. That's kind of where it's going there a little bit. So Capricorn rising, be careful with those areas, especially siblings, neighbors, cousins getting involved or mixed up within their drama. The he said, she said shit. Be careful with the Capricorn rising during this time, okay? Oh, Carla, you're crazy. So Capricorn rising, I wrote down, guys, like my little legend here. There we go. Capricorn rising, the King of Cups reversed and the Strength card reversed. I already know what this means. Emotion, be careful with emotion, guys. And also be careful with how you emotionally express your guys' self during this time. Have to do with communication. Also, be careful with loyalty during this time as well. People may say things that they necessarily don't mean, since this is happening in your 3rd house, Capricorn rising. People may say things that they don't normally maybe not mean, that may negatively affect you, and then you feel like the loyalty is maybe gone. Not really. It's probably chances that it's not like that. Also, be aware of how you emotionally deal with yourself as well. Also, don't allow situations right now, or try not to allow situations to affect you to the point where you feel like hopelessness during this time, Capricorn rising. Be very careful, okay? And how it affects you, your emotional stability during this time. So for Capricorn rising, your opposite house, since this is happening in your 3rd house, is the 9th house. So it's Scorpio. So be careful with obsession, secrecy. That's crazy. Obsession, secrecy, transformation, deep emotion. I literally wrote that down here, deep emotion. So be careful with that, okay? It may affect your strength. It may affect your, I just picked up for Capricorn rising, check where you have Leo in your chart. Interesting. That has something to do with it, maybe possibly for some of you. Interesting. All right, guys. So where is this? Okay. Sagittarius rising. A lot of people have Sagittarius rising. Now, I'm not saying y'all ain't special. I'm just saying we're all unique, just like everybody else, right? So Sagittarius rising. A lot of the collective is Sagittarius rising. I'm not sure why. It's weird. But yeah. So I think Sagittarius is probably I think it's one of the larger constellations, so it may stay in there. The rising sign. The rising sign changes every 2 hours, guys. Whenever you get your birth chart ready. So the rising sign, like I said, changes every 2 hours. Every 2 minutes, an aspect can change within a chart, and it does. That's why the time is so damn important. And that's why people are like, oh, I was born like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you need to tell me. I prefer you guys looking at that birth certificate because, one, I'm a damn Virgo, okay? I ain't trying to give you no wrong information. Oh my God, I'll never forget myself. And so that's why the time is so specific, guys. Every 2 minutes, something changes. And an aspect can really make a difference. Why is my nose itching so much? This is crazy. All right, Sagittarius rising. This is happening in your 4th house, okay? This is happening towards your IC. So your chart's round, right? It's like this. Let me see. The best way I can kind of do it. So your chart's round, right? Turn it this way. This is your whole chart, your natal wheel. It's divided into 4, like that, four pieces. So it's quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4, I want to say. But anyway, it's into 4 pieces. Then the middle line that goes down at the top is your midheaven. That's the highest point within your chart. So it's your public persona up there. Now you have your IC, which is at the very bottom. That's the lowest part of your chart. So that means that there's a lot of things that are hidden within that area. I don't want to even call it a house. It's an area. So it's the very bottom of your guys' chart, the line that goes down the center. Okay. That's your childhood shit. The things that hurt you the most. Everyone has an IC. Okay. They just do, depending what's there. But at the bottom here where your IC is, it's between your 3rd house and 4th house cusp. So the 3rd house is here and then the 4th house is here and then the line is in the center. So for Capricorn rising and also for Sagittarius rising, it's towards that IC, okay? So during this time, Sagittarius rising, it's going to really affect you about the home life, okay? Home life, family, your core level, your home life, guys, okay, it's your place of rest. It's where you feel most comfortable, where you're able to come home and knock your shoes off and just, you know what I mean? Like it's where you feel most safe and secure. That's why it's at a core level, okay? So this is happening for Sagittarius rising. And also your ancestry line, childhood as well. So it's affecting your IC. So the deepest part of who you are, what you didn't get as a child, what you needed but didn't receive, that's your IC. Like I said, we all have an IC, but just it's happening in these areas for Sagittarius rising, your 4th house. And I have Saturn in my 4th house, okay? So I know the 4th house very well. I hate to talk about myself, but just to give you guys information, like where my IC is, right? The deepest, darkest part of me, I literally have all squished together, okay? Right there, all conjunct. Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus just smashed right down by my IC. I'm like, why did I choose that chart? Anyway, so I understand Sagittarius rising. So this is going to affect, guys, your home life, review for your home life, your childhood, your domestic life, your security. Also, during this time, Sagittarius rising, your wants versus your needs, desires are going to come up. Do you feel safe? Do you not feel safe? If you see like smoke, it's my incense, guys. Your inner self, the mother as well, because the 4th house is defaultly ruled by Cancer. So it's the moon, so it's the mother. And also parenting during this time, guys, too. Not how well are you parenting, but it's more of, are you repeating maybe karma? Are you breaking karmic cycles regarding what you didn't get as a child? It may not be the exact same thing that you give your children or what your children may need, but it's more of, are you not listening to your children during this time and then are failing to be there for them emotionally? Just because it's not like how you were brought up, or like the things you didn't get when you were brought up, is just because it's not the same thing as what your children now, the fears that they have and what they need, but it's the same concept as to it. They didn't get it, that they needed that, you know? And since y'all are here, you guys know what's going on now, okay? So you guys are aware. So Sagittarius rising, be careful in those areas. The opposite house is Libra. It's the 10th house is the opposite house of the 4th house. So relationships, maybe yielding too much towards these areas of life, and compromising yourself during this time, and maybe being too nice during this time, because it's in the opposite house. So it's an automatic opposition to home life, to family life. And it's weird, guys. When you guys go over this video again, you're gonna see like how the opposition is directly, literally opposite of what's going on in the house that this is affecting. Like it's like a cause and effect. Like because of this happens, like that kind of thing. Also, be careful during this time, Sagittarius rising, because you can run into situations with denial right now. Like, oh, it's not happening. That's not happening. And it is, you know. Libra moons sometimes can, not saying all of you guys, but Libra, my mother has a Libra moon. Don't tell her that I'm telling you this. But a lot of Libra moons, they come into situations where they may have some denial when it comes to like, oh, that's not happening. No, I didn't see that. What? Just to kind of keep the harmony. Be careful, okay? During this time. You're funny, cat lady. I hope all of this is making sense, guys. Like, you know, I try to organize it the best I can. Yeah, so during this time, yeah, Sagittarius rising, that's for you. What we have for you, it's we have the 5 of Swords reversed and the 2 of Swords. Communication. Interesting. Since it is the 4th house, family life, we have to compromise with people. We're forced to do this with these people. You know, we have to live in areas, or our home has to be copacetic, you know, in terms of everyone's needs and wants. Be careful with feeling like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you're trying to manage everything and you're trying to not be selfish during this time, but also compromising yourself in the long run, or compromising yourself, trying to help everyone else out, you know? And relationships as well. And I mentioned yielding and compromising yourself, the 2 of Swords. Whenever you get the 2 of Swords, the 2 of Swords is a card of, the best way I can describe the 2 of Swords is like this. You're like, no, no, I'm closed off. No, I don't want it. No, the blindfold's on. Remember what I always say to you guys, whenever you see blindfold in tarot, that person does not want to see the truth. And I also said denial as well too. That's very interesting. Sorry about that, guys. Ooh, my battery. 1 second. I am not prepared today. Okay, almost here. Okay. So yeah, be careful with denial during this time, guys, okay? Alrighty. Scorpio rising. Scorpiolos. Yeah, Scorpios. This is happening in your 5th house. 5th house is creativity, romance, children. It's also risk-taking and self-expression. It's also like your guys' extracurriculars, like what you do on the side, what your hobbies are. It's a house of expression, basically. The 5th house. Okay, so during this time, expectations and ideals, guys. What are you expecting from yourself, from other people, or things coming out of your creativity? Things coming out of, for Scorpio rising, things coming out of, be careful with motives. I just picked up on that too. Yeah, be careful with the motives. Also, idealization. You know, are we maybe because we maybe aspire to be like this person, or we aspire to have this quality? Are we going to put too much into that thing and kind of idealize it? Disillusionment as well. Don't lie to yourself, Scorpios. Romance. So your guys is, let's say maybe a little bit of marriages, but that's more the 7th house. But it's going to be more of just romance. Like, I don't know why I just picked up. Maybe if you did like, you stood someone up on a date or something, someone may stand you up, something like that, you know? And then you get a flat tire on your way home. That's weird. I know I just picked that up. Risk-taking as well right now. Self-expression and creativity, just those areas, guys. Be careful during this time with those areas. Everything that, once again, I'm just going to say, because we're almost halfway through it, everything, guys, that I'm mentioning here, it's review. So, and it's Neptune, so it's deep spiritual review of these things. All right, so Scorpiolo, Virgo is the opposite house with the it being in your 11th house, Scorpio rising. So again, scrutiny, judgment, criticism, and the background chatter regarding those areas that I just mentioned, okay? Don't beat yourself up. A lot of this has to do with, and it's weird how I told you before or at the beginning, how it's a lot of Virgo. So it's a lot of self-improvement through a spiritual sense, through looking things from a higher perspective. Let's see, Scorpio, you got the Princess of Wands or the Page of Wands reversed, and the 9 of Pentacles reversed. Wow. I just got, and it's weird, creativity. That's so crazy, guys, how the tarot just, when you're connected, it just matches. It's crazy. Okay, let me just tell you guys, this is feeling like you are not self-sufficient, like you don't have everything that you need, that you can do to satisfy yourself, right? This is the Page of Pentacles reversed. That's not wanting to go out there and be on the hustle and grind to get something done, or not wanting to take advice or opportunities from situations. So when I see these two, I picked up, don't do anything half-assed unless you're willing to be half-happy. And it's during this time that I feel, Scorpio rising, that you need to maybe be a little bit mindful of that, okay? All right, so, oh no, Libra rising, that's me. Ugh. Okay, Libra rising. This is happening in your 6th house. So the 6th house is, they call it the house of enemies. Now, when they say enemies, it's not like people trying to damn get your ass. No, but when they say enemies, it's like people who maybe have applied pressure on you growing up, or maybe people who have done you wrong growing up, or like bullied you. That's usually the 6th house is there. So the 6th house, Libra rising, has a lot to do with everyday duties, work, the house of enemies, like I just described, entrepreneurship. It's the hustle and grind, like the everyday doing your shit, like, you know, going out there, doing this, getting your hustle done, the work, all of that, okay? So this is happening, Libra rising, in your 6th house. So be careful or be mindful of review in health and work, enemies, bullies, everyday life, schedules as well, you know, kind of, I'm going to do this on this day and do this at this time and get up at this time, you know, that scheduling. Also, what's interesting here is be careful with poisonings from like alcohol and drugs and medication. Be careful with that as well. I just picked up 2 guys, Libra rising. Oh shit, that's me. Libra rising, be careful with taking medication in terms of like, it could be in the wrong bottle, or someone didn't tell you that they switched them or something like that. I don't know, I just got that right now. I think I don't take pills like that. Diets as well. And also dishonest work, you know, like if you're at work and you're trying to like get something done real quick and you just kind of want to cut a little corner, be careful with that during this time. And also having or being skeptical of others' intentions, being a little paranoid. So Libra rising, be careful within those areas, okay? And review is going to come up again. Like I'm going to keep saying that. Review of those areas. Now are we going to take a spiritual approach to it? Are we going to learn where it went wrong, not what happened? I always tell you guys that because it's important to look at all situations like that. So Libra rising, this is in your, the opposite is your 12th house. So it's Virgo again. Whatever's in your, remember guys, the opposite house or the house that I mentioned, this is happening to you guys. If there are planets there, that's going to affect it as well. It's going to be all encompassing. So, and I can help you guys out with that. You know, you can book with me and I'll be able to help you guys out with that. And I'll see what's there and how things are aspected. And I'll come up with like an interpretation for you guys. So be careful with the scrutiny, judgment, criticism, the background chatter as well, okay, within those areas. So Libra, you got the Seven of Cups, confusion, and the King of Cups reversed, emotional manipulation probably. So, be careful, Libra rising, during this time with confusion regarding your emotions. Okay, I just kind of got to be careful with being confused, right? Like saying, did he or she just say that to me? Oh, hell no, well, fuck you. You know, doing all that. Be careful with that during this time. And with Mars going over the South Node, everyone is really pissed right now. It's crazy. So be careful with emotion and how you process it and feel, not think. You don't think about emotion, you feel it. I just picked up your intuition during this time too, okay? Just kind of want to show you guys the cards. So be careful with that during this time. Be careful with emotional manipulation within those areas of like work and of your duties, okay? All right, Libra rising, that's for you. Virgo rising. All right, you Virgo risings. Viggity Virgo. All right, Virgo rising. So this is happening in your 7th house. I noticed the time, guys. I'm going to kind of speed this up a little bit. So Virgo rising, this is happening in your 7th house. So this is your shadow side, Virgo rising. And the opposite of Virgo is Pisces. So your descendant is Pisces. Watch Pisces readings during this time, guys. Virgo risings. I don't know, I just picked it up. Virgo rising's shadow side. So be careful with the shadow side. Make sure you understand it. Make sure, I mean, we never fully understand it, but make sure we go deep and we do the work. Business things, business contracts, business just in general. Going into business with people, because the 7th house is about one-on-one relationships or partnerships. Marriages during this time, your romantic partnerships, marriages, and just general one-on-one interactions during this time, Virgo rising. Careful of your shadow side, communication, personal relationships, personal partnerships, marriages, people in your home that are in your home. How are you relating to them? How are you working with them? Misunderstanding others right now and others misunderstanding you. Your shadow side is going to be highlighted during this time. Okay, everyone's this kind of is, but right now, Virgo rising your 7th, because it's happening in your 7th house and it's Neptune, a spiritual review of your shadow is going to be really, really important during this time for you, Virgo risings. Your intentions, you know, misunderstanding with others, resentment. Be careful with resentment during this time. Looking after also sick relatives, since it's one-on-one interactions that may kind of happen, Virgo rising. Caring for loved ones as well. They may be ill or just caring for loved ones in general. Be careful with difficulties with lawsuits and lawyers as well. Be very careful with that. Just be mindful of it. Okay, my nose is just going off. It's just so weird. It's only this side. That's so strange. Right. Got to get it together. Animals too, guys. Since the shadow is Pisces and animals, they kind of go hand in hand. So, you know what's interesting here is the opposite of the 7th house is your 1st house, Virgo. So your 1st house, Virgo rising, your 1st house is Virgo. So the self criticism, that's what I wrote down, self criticism. So that's there. And Virgo rising, Virgo suns too, even Virgo moons up to a certain point. Y'all know how you criticize yourself. Okay, so be careful with that. But be careful. I call it background chatter, but like the shit that just, you can't do it, you're dumb. You don't know what you're doing. Everyone's looking at you. You can't do it right. You're stupid. Like, don't do all that. That's why I call it the background chatter. It's the stuff that runs through your mind, you know, when you're sitting there like all dazed out. Be careful. Virgo rising with that. Virgo rising also got, yeah, interesting. King of Swords reversed and the 5 of Wands. So, be careful with the words. Be careful with the petty ass arguments. Remember the shadow side. That's interesting. Your shadow side is going to be highlighted during this time, and your opposite house is the 1st house. So it's going to be affecting how you view yourself. Look at this card, guys. This card makes me laugh. Look at this card. What the hell are all those people doing? Like, what's homeboy doing over here? Like, homeboy is like he's gonna like stab the ground. What is she doing? This broad is just like lost. Like, see how everyone is just looking different ways? This is petty ass shit here. This is petty arguments, which means no one's listening to each other and no one wins. This is the card of contention of I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. No, I want pizza. No, I want Chinese food. No, I want, it's, look, no one is paying attention. Everyone is, what is she doing over there? Like, what the hell? Like, okay, petty arguments. This is someone who uses words, manipulation, someone who uses their power in terms of words over other people, backstabbing, being malicious, blackmailing. So be careful, okay, since your shadow is going to be highlighted during this time, be careful with the communication and how you're responding to other people, and also how people are speaking to you if you're taking it the wrong way or you're a little bit extra sensitive. And then none of y'all have to argue over crap that doesn't even matter at the end of the day, okay? She's just dumb, like she's just looking down. Okay, Leo rising, all right. 8th house, Leo rising. The 8th house is intimacy, sex, desires, fantasies, joint finances, secrets, transformations, also power, okay, and taxes as well. And the 8th house is defaultly ruled by Scorpio, so defaultly Pluto. So Pluto's retrograde right now. So be careful with power in general. Leo rising, subconscious mind. The things in your subconscious coming out, okay? Or review of your subconscious during this time. Psychics and occult matters as well. Be careful who you go to during this time, okay? Like psychics and occult people, astrology people, you can come to me though. But be careful with that, okay? Because we're all going through this in different ways. So be careful with psychics and stuff like that. Secrets, just in general, coming out. Transformation is as well. During this time, Leo rising, it's very important to look at situations like maybe this is going to be better for me. I'm no longer going to have to hold on to these things. Transformation like that. Joint finances and resources. Fraud. Be careful with fraud during this time. Borrowing money as well. You may not be able to pay it back, or people may not be able to pay you back during this time. Taxes as well. Intimacy. Sexual drive and desires as well. And sexual gratification from like pornography. So I just threw that in there, but that's your business. I don't want to know all that, but be careful with these things, okay? Maybe acting upon certain things that you normally maybe wouldn't during this time. And whenever you have a Leo rising, guys, whoever is born, I'm not saying making y'all special, but whenever you have a Leo rising, you're here for some type of change, for some type of, to make an impact, whether on people, whether on the world. It's usually like worldly matters. For instance, what's his name? Trump, he's a Leo rising, and we would never have thought that Trump would have been damn president, okay? I think Obama's a Leo rising too, whatever. But yeah, so be careful with those areas, okay? And the opposite house for Leo, 8th house, is the 2nd house, and Leo rising, your 2nd house is Virgo. Again, criticism, self-judgment, scrutiny, and the background chatter regarding these areas, okay? So Leo rising got the 6 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles. Interesting. Be careful with being left out or feeling left out and being understood, okay? Because your desires are going to come out. A lot of the stuff that remains deep down there, all the way down, that you don't tell no one about, that stuff is all going to come out during this time, okay? Or at least it's going to come up for review. So how you view it regarding transformations, are you going to leave yourself out and feel like, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm dumb. Why is this happening? Are you going to choose to look at the situation where it leaves you left out? Or are you going to look at the situation in terms of, these are things that I need to change, so therefore I'm going to change them. I'm going to work through it. I'm going to face adversity and say, what's up? And go through it. And it makes you a better person. It also makes you understand yourself, which means that other people understand you as well. All right, Leo rising. Cancer rising. We're almost done, guys, okay? Cancer rising during this time. Ninth house, Cancer rising, okay? So higher education, religion, expanding your consciousness, truth in things, law, legal matters, travel, foreign lands, finding the truth in beliefs, belief systems as well. So Cancer rising, be careful during this time with ego, okay? Is your ego going against your truth, your self-truth, or finding truth within information? Seeking truth, religion, truth in religion, truth in spirituality, truth in terms of comprehension of things, comparing and contrasting things during this time. Also, be careful, Cancer rising, during this time with needing to know and to like find out to control, okay? Ego tendencies and ego gains during this time. So your third house is opposite is Virgo. Once again, Virgo. Virgo is all up and through here. It's crazy. So it's happening in your ninth house, but the opposite house is the third house for Cancer rising. Criticism, judgment, scrutiny, in the background chatter, okay? And then Cancer rising got 5 of Cups reversed and the 4 of Cups reversed. Interesting. And then the 5 came and then the 4. So that's not bad. Whenever like we have 4 and then 5 like that, well, I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, guys. So you can get yourself out of situations, okay? But you're gonna have to be careful with finding the truth in things. What is the truth? Okay? Because when this card is upright, you see that cup coming down from the heavens. He's so focused on all the crap going on down here that he doesn't even see that there's an opportunity here. That's why a lot of the times they'll call the 4 of Cups card, usually when it's reversed, sometimes they'll say a missed opportunity. So be careful with missed opportunities during this time because they may make you a better person. Also, I just picked up too, be careful with missed opportunities. Okay, there's 2 things here. It would be dualistic, Cancer. Be careful, okay. Missed opportunity during this time can be good and it can be bad. It can be good because then you miss an opportunity to make an ass out of yourself. And also you miss an opportunity, but it could be bad because you miss an opportunity that could have bettered your life. And I'm looking at these cards like missing an opportunity that could, that would prevent you from making an ass out of yourself. I'm picking up more on that. So be careful during this time by finding the truth in things. When you find the truth in things, or at least your truth, whatever your truth is, then you don't indulge or go along or follow certain things or certain aspects, and therefore won't put you in those negative positions that will adversely affect you. Okay. All right. Gemini rising. Gemini. Okay, Gemini rising. So this is happening in your 10th house. So it's going to happen in statuses, in career status, public status. Remember, the 10th house is your IC. Remember, we were talking about it with the circle. It's at the very top of your chart. So public status, outside view of people's, the outside view of who you are, how people view you. You know, do they say you're a very nice person? I mean, we never want to look externally for validation, but since it's a 10th house, it has to do with that. It has to do with work. Like I said, your public persona, your MC, how people view you. You know, when people like this, I just picked this up. When people speak of you, what do they say? Do they speak of nice things or do they speak of hurtful and wrong and unfavorable things like that? That's what the 10th house basically is too as well. So be careful during this time. Gemini rising for professional life, your public persona, how people view you, status and career during this time too. A lot of things, be careful with things that are happening at work, Gemini rising, okay? Be careful with firings as well. Just read that too, that's crazy. One of you in here, I think right now maybe, or some of it's gonna watch this, is like a boss, and there's like a review coming up for your guys's company or who you work for, and you have to let go of some people. Be careful with that, Gemini rising, and look that up and really look at people and who they really are and what they can do and what they possess, rather than you can have someone who works. Okay, it's like the pretty girl having an ugly attitude. Watch that regarding your employees. Okay, in terms of firing. Oh no, that just picked that up. That was weird. Psychic moment. Status and career, social, your social views on yourself and also your social views on other people, your groups as well a little bit. Your life path and your career path, work life, and also be careful during this time with deception and also deceiving others during this time, especially at work. My nose, this is just ridiculous. Okay. Your opposite house, Gemini rising, is the 4th house, which is Virgo again. So criticism, judgment, scrutiny, and the background chatter again, guys, okay? Look what's in your 4th house. See what's there. Those planets are going to be aspected, or it's going to be in opposition to your 10th house, okay? Virgo rising, we got, I'm sorry, not Virgo rising, Gemini rising, I apologize. Right here. 2 of Swords reversed and the Sun card. Okay, during this time, you may find yourself stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? But be careful, because how you view it and how you feel, okay, how you view it is going to affect how you feel, and how you feel is going to affect how you view it. If that makes sense. How you approach things and your approach to them and how you view them and their perception of them is going to affect, like I said, your outlook. It's going to affect your, what's the word I'm looking for? What the hell's the word? It's going to affect your, like your personal ambition, your vigor, the way that you look and view situations. And it's either going to help you, it's going to bring you out of feeling like stuck a rock in a hard place, or it's going to put you under that rock. All right. Career, Gemini rising during this time, okay? Taurus rising. Jennifer. Taurus rising. Right. Let me light my candle, guys. 1 second. A little black candle here. It's always good, guys, if you guys are readers or anything, to have a black candle around you. It's for protection. You put the intention on it. Also have, just randomly, some amethyst here. Black obsidian. Desert rose with some black tourmaline. Anyway, Mark, you're going on topic here. That was my Aries, sorry. Okay, Taurus rising, 11th house. So, social groups, networks, social media, social status, and friends. If in the past there was manipulation within those areas, careful. So be careful or be mindful of your social groups, your networks, social media during this time. Social media, my God, Taurus rising, be careful with social media. Social status, your groups of people may come up where you say, do I really want to belong to this group? This group, does it follow what I do, or do I follow what the group does? Like the old saying goes, you are who your friends are. Taurus rising. Group efforts as well. Seeing or being cooperative in group efforts. Group ideals and just ideals in general over situations that have to do with the outside world and how they operate. Social group association. The way things, okay. Taurus rising. Taurus rising. Taurus, you're a fixed sign, so you can be a little stubborn. So be careful during this time with how and remember, our rising sign, everyone's rising sign, it's our unconscious behavior. It's the things that we say and do without us even knowing. We're just being us, you know? So Taurus rising, you're a little stubborn. So be careful with the way that things should be. It should be ran like this. They should be doing this. Be careful with that. Okay. And also being a martyr for other people, you know, Taurus rising, don't do that. You know, don't be like, you treated him wrong or her wrong. I'm going to get you now. Wow. Careful. No, Taurus rising, no. And also just being involved with others and also causing, being involved with other people, causing illusion and motives, you know, that goes hand in hand with being a martyr. Don't be careful during this time. Just be mindful of those areas in your life, okay? Yeah, I just picked up, for instance, since it's Neptune, once again, remember, it's Neptune, guys, so it's going to be like deep shit. Like you're going to like have to view it and visit it. And if you were a martyr for someone in the past, stood up for someone and you got fired and got let go from a job that was really good, that may come up again. And it's going to be like, are you going to stand up for someone when you shouldn't even put your damn nose in that situation and then lose your job again? Or did you change? Did you look at it from a spiritual aspect saying that person may need to learn a lesson? I'm not going to stick up for that person. Things like that, you know, for every sign that whatever we're talking about right now. So Taurus rising, 10 of Cups reversed. Ooh, Justice, Taurus rising. What's fair, Taurus rising? I didn't have to look down. What's fair? And also, things that are fair tend to not always be the way that you want things. And it may bring up people being a little bit jealous or people feeling like they got the shit end of the stick when it was just fair. Whenever, guys, compromise is the best way to go, because when there's compromise, both parties lose a little bit of something. It's the best way to do things. People don't think like that, at least think that far into compromise. Be careful with non-committal situations, especially emotional. Okay, are people meeting you halfway? Are you meeting other people halfway during this time? Also, I picked up cutting the shit out of your life that has to do with non-committal situations. Interesting. And it's also interesting too. Yeah, Taurus, ruled by Venus in a different way. Justice is ruled by Venus as well, which is Libra. Interesting. Your friends, watch your friends. And that's the 11th house. That's pretty much your friends, pretty much. All right. I forgot to tell you guys. Taurus, the opposite house is your 5th house. So Virgo, again, your 5th house is creativity. So be careful with how you express yourself during this time with the criticism, judgment, scrutiny, and the background chatter. All right, last but not least, we have Aries rising. Now, the interesting thing about an Aries rising is that their 1st house is Aries, 2nd house, Taurus. They're all default houses in terms of how the astrological wheel is aligned. So Aries rising, this is your 12th house. Ooh, the 12th house. This is happening in your 12th house, okay? So your subconscious, your desires, the past, secrets, health, hospitals, asylums, spirituality. The 12th house is everything that rules everything that we don't see, or at least the society doesn't see. That's things that are kept behind closed doors. That's why it's our subconscious, because we can access it if we're like under like past life regression or hypnosis. But yet we really can't just access our subconscious, you know, I mean, not on a whim. Some people can, but as a society, we haven't got there yet. So yeah, that's the 12th house, guys. It's the house of deep spirituality, because it's also the house of, I don't want to say ghosts, but like hauntings, the other realm. You know what I mean? Because think about it, guys. Houses 1 through 11, they're all different things. The house of the self, the house of self-worth, house of communication, house of children and family, right? You go all the way over. And what's left in the 12th house? Nothing. What's left is, that's why they call it the house of your undoing. What's left is the other side, spirit. You know, that's about it. It's like, I'm going to say this, but I don't mean it like this. It's the house of death, you know, where that's what's left. There's nothing more. It's all gone in a sense, you know, but it's okay, Aries rising, don't think it's all gone. I'm just saying, you know, explaining what the 12th house represents. That's why I have my sun and my Mercury in the 12th house. That's why I'm a damn medium. That's why I'm walking around my house in certain places and I'm like, stop, move, get away from me. Like I have a damn spirit following me. Like, I'm like, fuck. Like, ask Jennifer, I'm always weird, like talking on the damn phone and then I'm like, Jennifer, she's like, what? I'm like, there are 2 people standing behind me. I don't know who the hell they are, but hold on. Get away. Like, medium problems, right? I feel spirit all around me all the time. My oversoul is fucking humongous. There's multiple guides in there. It's ridiculous. Anyway, the 12th house has a lot to do with spirituality, you know? So deep spirituality, though, like when you go through, for instance, when Jupiter is in your 12th house, Jupiter's transiting your 12th house and Jupiter is in your sign. okay? In terms of your sign, like your rising sign, okay? If Jupiter's in your rising sign and transiting your 12th house, you are going through a spiritual freaking awakening, okay? Whoa, that's when you lose everything. That's why everyone's awakening process, there's a common theme, right? The common theme is, I lost everything. I didn't have shit left. Why? Because then you only have God left to look to and spirit to look to. That's the 12th house. And when Jupiter is transiting that 12th house in your sign, that was my awakening. My rising is Libra, right? So Libra, Venus, it rules me. 2016, November of 2016, I think it was. Yeah, I want to say. Jupiter was in Libra, okay? And it was transiting my 12th house. And I didn't realize this until after my awakening, or at least my initial awakening. I was on my floor for 4 months. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was crying. It was, I don't know, what's wrong with me? Like that shit going on. Yeah. So, yeah. And I can look at that for you guys too, if you need me to. Anyway, I'm talking too much. But, so be careful with hospitals during this time, jails, asylums, your subconscious, your past, secrets, and health. And also I wrote down confinement, like in terms of like, are you being forced to stay within an area, or someone having power over you, keeping you within a certain realm? Also sacrificing. Be careful with sacrificing yourself and you sacrificing for other people during this time. Healthy is okay, but not where you're like, you're like, be careful with the Aries rising during this time, okay? Drugs, be careful, Aries rising. Be careful with the drugs during this time, okay? Be careful, no judgments, I'm just saying. Drugs, alcohol, overindulgence of anything, sex, exercise, self-mutilization, anything. Be careful with that, okay? And Neptune retrograde period is, you're going to see a lot of people are going to start to be drinking more. People are going to, that's why I said my description, we're left to our own vices at the end of the day. We are. So Aries rising, be careful with that, okay? Overindulgence. Also, what's mine, what's theirs? And what happens behind closed doors, religion, spirituality, mediumship. Maybe during this time, Aries rising, you may find that, you're feeling things or energy shifts. You may see things from like the corner of your eye because, this part of your life is being highlighted. Your spiritual life, ghosts, hauntings, self-reflection, deep self-reflection. Aries rising, you may during this time kind of reflect on life like, to be or not to be? That's just a question, like that kind of crap. Life meaning, the departed, and regret, having a lot of regret, like, oh, I should have been there, or this wouldn't have happened. Be careful with that, Aries rising. Psychics too, depression, and a oneness with everyone. You may feel like you may feel like you're omnipresent, like you're here, there, and everywhere, but like feeling like you're here and everywhere all at the same time. You may do a lot of astral traveling during this time. We all do it. We're all going through it right now, but yeah. And just God in general, Aries rising. If you feel God's pulling you and pulling at your heartstrings, go. Just do it. It's the best time right now. You are more open to receiving during this time, all right? So the opposite of Aries rising is Virgo for your 6th house. So be careful with the criticism, judgment, scrutiny, and background chatter regarding these areas, all right? And Aries rising, you got the 3 of Pentacles reversed with the 8 of Pentacles reversed. Let's see what I'm getting for you. Be careful with working on certain things that don't have a benefit to it. And also just picked up, that's weird. You guys know, when I read, it's more than just the cards. The cards just, all this tells me is this. The 8 of Pentacles reverse means working on something that isn't going to be viable, okay? Wasting your time. 3 of Pentacles reverses people not getting along. That's all these cards do. It just creates like this situation. And I just picked up right now, be careful with religion, and also be careful with how much effort you put into something. And also be careful with damn it, I lost it. What the hell did I pick up right now? Sorry, guys. Trying to make a point. Be careful with religious people during this time. Maybe try to pressure you during this time. You may find that. Also, oh yeah, your religion or your spiritual beliefs may change during this time because you are feeling like maybe what you're doing or how things are working and going along are not creating the results that you want. So therefore, you may find that it's maybe making you feel a little bit like resentful or like bitter. And then that may kind of bleed out into other people and to your situations and your relationships. They really want me to stay focused on you guys right now. That's interesting. Let's see. Working towards things that you know, like, okay, oh, wow. Being, I hate cussing, but being someone else's bitch, doing their work for them, and therefore it creates an adversity with yourself. Okay, I just picked up to be careful, guys, with is it? Be careful with, I don't want to say who you pray to, because that sounds weird, because we all have our own beliefs, but make sure that the beliefs that you guys are adopting, make sure that you guys understand them, you know, and when you pray or however, whatever your ritualistic situations are, be careful with like your intent behind it. Be careful if you guys are like, you know, spellcasters, if any of you do that or anything like that. I don't do all that, but no shade. I'm just saying. If any of you do that, like fire magic or magic, be careful with when you do it regarding like the moon cycles and stuff like that. Like sometimes you have to do, I don't mess with all that, but sometimes I know a little bit that you have to do certain things at certain times. Be careful. And then when you don't, it can adversely affect you. Yeah. So everything that I just said, like my point, what I was trying to make before, but came from just these two damn cards. It's more than the cards, guys. It's being connected, you know, where I just got that information. It's like a thought that gets put into my head. Clairaudience. A lot of people, you know, clairaudience, just to go off track here, but clairaudience, you know, people think it is hearing, but also information being like a thought being put into your head. It's a little bit of claircognizance, yes, but it's also clairaudience, because if you think about it, it's like this. Yeah, we hear it, but what interprets it? The brain. And a thought being put into your head is an interpretation. It's still, so regardless if it goes into your ears or it comes from the top down to the bottom, it still goes to your brain and you understand it, you know? So clairaudience has a lot to do with thoughts being put into your head that are not yours. I don't know why I didn't realize that before, but I was doing some research and a couple months ago, and I realized this, and I was like, oh, that's true. So I was like, I'm very clairaudient, because that's how that's how I get messages from the divine and for you guys every single month, is through just random thoughts that get put into my head. They're not my thoughts. Jennifer, today, remember Jennifer, I was talking, we were messaging each other, and you were saying how your skin is like itchy and you feel like you like want to like tear it off like it's like a jacket. And then I told you that a message came through for you, Jennifer, and I told you that it's because your skin's toughening in a metaphoric ideal. And I just told Jennifer today, I was like, that's not my thought. I was like, that's not my thought. So yeah, your skin is toughening. It's the ascension process. Where the fuck did that come from? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's clairaudient, where I'm clairaudient. I hear. It's not here. It's more, it gets put in there. It's a little bit of I'm everything, guys. I'm clairvoyant, claircognizant, clairaudient. The only one I'm not is really clairgusto, I think, is the taste or the smell. The smell and the taste, I don't really. One time I smelled a diaper. But that was pretty much it. I'm not really big on that. Those two are not my strengths. But yeah, I'm pretty much all the clairs at the end of the damn day. All right, guys. That concludes it. Oh no, that's right. I wanted to talk about now everything that I mentioned for all these signs. Right? It's probably like, oh my god, it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna suck. Don't get me wrong. These are the areas that we need to work on. But check this out, guys. So during this time, right, with this Neptune being retrograde, there's a grand trine that's coming up. It's like a triangle like that. So it's one placement here, and another placement there. These placements are Mercury in Cancer, Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio, and also Neptune retrograde in Pisces, right? Those placements are making a grand trine, because I think it's a trine is 3 or 4, I can't remember off the top of my head, 3 or 4 placements, or is it 2, somewhere around there, 2 or 3 or 4 placements after that placement. So if one's here, 2 or 3 down here, then that's a trine automatically, like the opposition. So yeah, Mercury in Cancer, that position is self-evaluation during this time. It's weird how we're having Mercury is in Cancer right now, and it's about self-evaluation. And this is all about self-evaluation. And Virgo too, how it's so prevalent with everyone's oppositional house. It's all making sense, guys. Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio is about deep reflection, and then Neptune retrograde in Pisces is about a spiritual wake-up call. So those 3 areas, right, are having a grand trine. Now, within those areas, Mercury trines Jupiter, and this brings optimism and good news, good instincts, positive thinking, long distance travel, religion, language, good language, philosophy, business dealings, and legal matters. That's all positive. Whenever there's a trine, it's positivity. Those 2 planets, right, are communicating with positivity. Now, you need to be careful with which, I just want to say this to you guys, but with which planet. Mars is a very malefic planet. Saturn's a malefic planet. When you say malefic, it means it's very restrictive, or it can, by nature, it's volatile, you know? So even though you may have a trine between Mars and, let's say, Saturn, for instance, for the sake of the argument here, those are 2 malefic planets. So there's harmony between 2 planets that are restrictive and very volatile. That's not too great. So we have to be careful with aspects as well. But everything that I mentioned here is good. Just wanted to let you guys know that, okay? See, these are things that, I don't want to call it advanced astrology, but these are things that, you know, you guys would want to come to someone who knows these things. Because someone can say, oh, it's a trine, it's positive. Oh, yeah. It's like, no, bitch, that's Mars and Saturn. Like, that's not positive. Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, so you need to know, that's what I'm saying. Know your guys' readers. Listen to that podcast, guys, okay? I'm going to remind you guys again. Listen to the podcast that I did. The intention of tarot is just my opinion. And I know that it's just my opinion, but listen to what I'm talking about, okay, in there. You guys gain a lot of perspective regarding tarot. Anyway, keep getting off topic. Mercury trine Jupiter, like I said, brings all of those things. Then the other aspect is Mercury trine Neptune, right? And if you guys have these in your chart, that's also a positive thing too, where it can affect you positively as well. But they're all positive. So Mercury trine Neptune is great imagination, sensitivity, spirituality, harmony, music, poetry, dance, close interrelationships with other people, having and establishing nonverbal communication like telepathy almost, and the strengthening of your psychic abilities and intuition. And Mercury is in retrograde right now, so thank God. Then the other aspect here is Jupiter trine Neptune. So this is hope, generosity, and community spirit, you know, like in a group, harmony in there. Seeking the truth in things, destined encounters, but positive because it's a trine between Jupiter and Neptune, and those are both those are non-malefic planets. So spiritual guidance as well during this time, having it and feeling it and having it being supported. Dreams, your dreams during this time, visions, meditation, the sacrificing of ego for the better good, letting go. Maybe experiencing like fame and glamour during this time. That could be good or bad, but whatever. Romance and mysterious attractions. So in me saying all of this, guys, it may be bad, but during this time, we have that grand trine, which is there to help us and assist us during this time. So it's not all bad. It's how we perceive things. Now I should take my own advice when I'm going through it, when I call Jennifer, but just wanted to let you guys know that, okay? And I think is that it? Yeah. All right, guys. I don't want to make this too long, even though it's been an hour and 35 minutes. All right, guys. I hope you guys liked this. You guys kind of got a little bit of information during this time. So if you guys would like to book a reading, check the description box, okay? I'm throwing a sale right now. The retrograde flash sale. I literally took $30 off of each reading. So I was guided to do that for you guys. So check that out. It's in the description. If you go to my website, it's different. Those are the default prices that I usually have. But in the description box here, there's a PayPal link there to that actual service. And once that service is, once you guys pay for the service, I'll email you when the PayPal email confirmation comes through to me. And then I'll email you guys, and then we'll like book a time, you know, and the date for you guys. And we'll just, whether you want to do it pre-recorded or you want to do it over a video chat, I'll talk about all that in the emails. But Is there anything else I want to do here? Yeah, so I'm having, or for the retrograde sale, right? I have the career reading, that's $30. The regular intuitive reading is $35. The couples complex, guys, that is a crazy spread. Dude, like, it looks at your relationship, even it can be with anyone, but relationships and marriages in general. My God, guys, it's freaking crazy. I used 3 decks for that one, and it's like crazy accurate. Like, people are like, whoa, how do you know that? Like, the stuff that comes out of my mouth, right? So that's the couples complex that I was just speaking of. That's $40, and the soul revival reading is $45 for block jizz and karmic cycles. And guys, my evolutionary astrology with the PDF file and looking at your chart and all that, dude, it's $90 right now. That's a hot deal. Usually it's $120. There's a lot of work with that one. I asked for like 3 days just to be with your chart and to study your chart. And then we have a video chat. That one has to be video chat. There's no other way. Video chat with that one. And we talk about why you're here. If you have a skip step in your chart. Everything that I was talking about here, all the areas that I was talking about here, I give you the why. Why is it like that? Why? What are you here to learn? That's $90 right now, guys. That's it's hot as deal. It's $120. And it comes with your own PDF file that's custom for you guys and all that. Is that all that I wanted to talk about? I think that may be it. Oh, and the retrograde sale ends July 1st. And in the description box, right at the beginning where it describes the sale, there's a YouTube link there. That's to a video that I made with me talking about all the sales, okay? Or at least all the readings being on sale. All my readings are on sale right now with $30 off each one right now. I think that was it. That ends July 1st, okay? So take advantage of it, okay? It ends June 31st, I think? Is there 31 days in June? 30th. So it ends June 30th at 11:59. So book, guys, if you guys would like to, and I sometimes get booked really quick when I do little sales like this, okay? All right, guys, I hope you appreciated everything here. Do you guys have any questions? I'll stick around for a little bit. Just kind of answer guys' questions. There's not too many people here. Sorry, guys, on the East Coast. My God, 11, 12, 1, 2. It's like almost 3 in the morning over there. Let me scroll down here 1 second. The Grand Tree Line? Oh, the Grand Trine. Oh, that's what you mean. The Grand Trine. It's in water. Yeah, wasn't it? Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. Yeah. I want to say the Grand Trine is until Mercury moves, and Mercury moves pretty quick. It's direct right now. I don't have an exact time for that, but I want to say maybe like 2 weeks or something, give or take. It depends on like the orbs, how some astrologers use like a wide orb. I don't do like no more than 4 or 5 orbs. Like people do like 13 orbs. I'm like, what the fuck? No, that's just my opinion. Oh my God, yes, the Mars retrograde will. Oh my God. It's making me, some days I wake up and I'm just angry. And I'm very like, not all the time, very rarely do I ever have that. And since I've changed so much of my ways, I look at things in a spiritual sense now, like I'm not how I used to be. And some days I wake up and I'm just like very like impatient. I'm like, why do I? And I'm like, whoa! I literally like I'm standing in my kitchen. I go, whoa! You need sit your ass outside and put some meditation music on. Work. What the hell is the matter with you? Like, whoa! And it's like, what's wrong with me? Like, you know what I mean? And I'll never, ever book you guys during that time. Like I would email you guys and be like, I'm tripping. I can't do a reading because I don't do readings like that. There's no point. Like that's just, you need to be there, mind, body, and soul for you guys. I need to be a channel for the divine realm. And my vibration can't be super low. I can't access the divine to give you guys information. So there's no point. Anyway, that was just on a side note. But yeah, I feel like sometimes that anger and I'm like, whoa, it's not me. And it's a collective consciousness, Sometimes it is me because I'm going through past life shit too, like things coming out and I'm having visions and clairvoyant moments and I'm texting on my phone. And all of a sudden I'm like, I feel like that's so Raven, like when she's like, when she gets, it's like that. I'm like, whoa, I'm seeing weird stuff. And I'm noticing during this time too, guys, my whatchamacallit, because I have an Aries moon, but anyway, because Aries with the 12th house thing going on, I'm seeing spirit more than I usually do, and I'm feeling them a lot more than I usually do. Like I'm in the shower, you know, and I'm feeling them, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "I'm naked. Like, get the hell out of here!" Like, you know, I'm like, "I'm still in 3D. Like, shit." I'm feeling them a lot during this time. I know the cell phone thing, huh? Your Mars is in Gemini in the second house. Yeah, that's crazy. So a lot of your emotion may have a little bit to do with your self-worth. I mean, everyone's does, but you know, because since you have an Aries moon, Aqua, true Aqua. Yeah, actually, yeah, cat lady for sure. Yes, the eclipses are coming up. Oh my God, that's gonna be crazy. I haven't even touched that yet because I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do it. But when it does, I'm gonna talk a lot about it, guys. Like, for sure, absolutely. See, with astrology, like, you know, I don't do this very often, even though I would like to. There's a lot of work that goes into it, guys. Like, imagine teaching astrology. Like, it's so vast. Like, you know what I mean? And then every astrologer has their own little like opinions on things. And it just you're looking at like origami practically, like, and you're just like, okay, what are the connections? What are they making? What's going on? How are they affecting each other? It's a lot to take into account. That's why when you guys book the astrology reading, I ask for 3 days because I need to look at your chart. And I mean, I can look at someone's chart and just kind of like pull stuff out of the chart, but to really like get down to like karmic cycles, you have to pay attention and look at what the hell is going on. How are things communicating with each other? Where are things smashing and, you know, oppositions? And it takes time. Chuaco, cool. Oh yeah, seeing a lot of colors right now. Yeah, even me too. Like all of a sudden, I'm like sitting in my room or something, and I'm on my phone. I don't know. I'm doing something. I'm reading something, and all of a sudden, I'll see like look like a little flashing star. Like not too long ago too, I was in my room again, and I was sitting down doing what was I doing? Reading a book or something, and all of a sudden, from like the corner of my eye, I look and I saw like it was like a light pink, and it, you know how the old school Windows logo would look. It was green like that, but it looked like wavy like that, like a flag. It looked like that, and it was like light pink and translucent, and it was like, and then when I saw it, and when I looked like that, it like literally disappeared, and I was like, what the hell was that? I think that it was like an angel or something from like a different dimension, and I just so happened to catch it. It was weird. It was crazy. Oh, repeating numbers. Yeah, they're still messing with me with the damn time, and I'm like, I'm connected. Like, can you just tell me what the information is? It's weird. I get random downloads too a lot, you know, randomly, just random times, like picking my nose. Also, and I'm like, what the? Wow, like random downloads. Indigo butterflies. Oh, wow. Wow, true Kakwa. That's cool. Oh, in the restroom. Yeah, me too. A lot of our moments of downloads or of like realizations come from when we're in the shower and when we're on the toilet. When I was on the toilet, I got the name for the channel so that you guys know. Yeah, when you look, see, when you study cat lady, when you study it or you provide evolutionary astrology like I do, that's a very just in general, it's a spiritual approach to I'll say psychology. It's weird. It's a spiritual approach to astrology. You know, it's like, why are you here? What's the point? Why did you reincarnate? And all that is very spiritual and just in general. And we're not so much focused on prediction with evolutionary astrology, where we want to answer the whys, you know, not what could happen. There's nothing wrong with predicting, of course. I mean, I don't really like to predict, especially like even like with tarot, but sometimes some of the shit that comes out of my mouth, I'm like, okay, that's weird. But you know, it's a download. So yeah, cat lady. Yeah, teaching astrology is it's possible, but it's not like something you can just, you know, we can have a session and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I know astrology now. Woo! Like, no, you have to study it and apply it. And it becomes real when it happens in your life. Like when you look at something, you read something that's in your chart, and all of a sudden you're not even really cognizant of it, like in terms of it going on or happening, and then it happens to you, and you're like, I have that placement. Oh shit, it happened just like that. Without your involvement, that's when like astrology is like, whoa, like how weird. That's when it becomes real. You know what I mean? But it's a lot to go over and a lot to process. Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna go and let you guys go unless you guys have any last questions. I do love to, interact with you guys. But it's already almost gonna be 2 hours. Imagine these people watching it. There's also gonna be, I'm gonna provide timestamps as well. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there's actually a karma placement. Only you. It's an asteroid. I think it's an asteroid. Karma asteroid. It's 3811. You plug it into astro.com, and that tells you at least where it is. Also, karma can also, okay, that's one way with that placement. I mean, with the asteroid 3811, but there's also your south node. It says a lot about your karma. Like, what are you here? What moon sign you are says a lot about your karma as well. And other things like Mars can speak a little bit of karma. You have to look at the chart and just see where all those things are. If you have a skip step in your chart, that shows a lot of karma. And a skip step is the reason why evolutionary astrology was even invented. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I should have taken an astrology session or course when I was in college, but I didn't think that all this shit was going to happen, but it did. Oh, you're welcome, cat lady. Yeah. Chihuahua, yeah, that's what, honestly, in my room right now, my TV's up on the wall. There's a sheet over it. I don't really watch as much TV. Oh, good night, D. Thank you for joining. I don't really watch too much TV at all now. But whenever there's like, I don't know, I just like to put a blanket or a sheet over the TV because that's one way that galactic entities can communicate with us and get information to us and condition us in a sense. But don't be all worried about that. Don't live your life in fear. But yeah, I just cover things like that. My South Node and Moon and Taurus and Mars and Gemini. Oh yeah, only you. Oh, you have Mars and Gemini, only you? Oh, scared of you. What house is your Mars in? I have Mars and Gemini in the 8th house. Kim and I both have that, and we can pop off. And we're really good with our words in terms of like we get the truth out of people and out of situations. And we say a lot of like, oh, okay, a lot. And we'll ask you the same question 2 days later. And it better be the same, because if not, you lied. It's crazy with Mars and Gemini. It's like that, especially in the 8th house. Oh, absolutely. The non sequitur show. Absolutely. Yeah. Contact me, intuitiveperceptions@gmail.com. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. Hit me up. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Also the non, I cannot pronounce that, the non sequitur. I'm also available on Google Hangouts. I'm on Facebook Messenger, all under Intuitive Perceptions @gmail.com or just Intuitive Perceptions. I'm on Skype as well. I'm there and we can video chat and you can get a hold of me. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. Hit me up. My DM is Gemini, maybe Mars has something to do with that. Probably. I'm attracted to Geminis too. Thank God Yildiz isn't here. I don't want to talk about that. But okay. Thank you so much for that opportunity. Hit me up. Let's do it. Yeah, the nodes tell you everything, guys. Those nodes, let me tell you, it's crazy. Okay, right now I'm having a reversal nodal return because my north node is in Aquarius. Is in Aquarius, and my south node is in Leo, which is the opposite right now. So literally, I'm going through a lot of past life karma right now. Literally, I'm seeing images and clairvoyant images of like me dropping someone down into a well, like, and seeing them at the bottom there, beaten, battered, and bruised. Like it's not very cute right now. This doesn't happen to me all the time, but I just have moments like that. I have to shake it off, But I'm experiencing a lot of stuff too. South node, Ketu, which is also your south node. Saturn are all in Scorpio, my 7th house. Oh, okay, cat lady. You think you're cursed? No, it just has a lot to do with you're gonna learn a lot about relationship. What sign is your 7th house, cat lady? Same date of birth, guys? I don't know. Only you would have to look at your chart, maybe, and we'll see if there's anything there. Whatever's in your 7th house, maybe. I don't really know. I don't know why I just picked up. Maybe in the past life, but I don't know if this is true. Maybe in the past life, only you maybe murdered someone on that date. I don't know. I just picked up that kind of cycle of it, but you know, I don't know. Ego could be involved. I don't know. But yeah, you never know. That's crazy. Only you. Yeah, book with me. Let's look at your chart. We can see what the hell's in there, what's going on. Okay, Pluto. Oh, Scorpio is my 7th. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cat lady. So you're gonna have a lot to do with transformation regarding relationships. You're gonna learn a lot about interactions with other people and a lot of Let me look at, what was it again? The South Node. It was the South Node. You said Saturn and something else, Mars, I think. Anyway, oh, right there it is. South Node, Ketu, and Saturn. Yeah, so you're gonna have a lot of situations where your past life has a lot to do with your current life. As I feel like you're reliving a life almost. Yeah, the South Node and Saturn. Saturn and Scorpio. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot to do with relationships and transformations from them. And I feel like you're reliving a lifetime because in the past you may have taken advantage of situations, or you may have kind of relationships. Now you're reviewing those relationships and now seeing like how they affect you, maybe. So something like that, kind of. It's just off the top of my head. I don't know how Saturn is aspected in your chart, if it's debilitated. June 12th. That's interesting. June 6, 7, 8, 9. Interesting. Because if it's June 6 and then the 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost completion. That's interesting. I don't know. I just picked that up, but only you. Pluto, Saturn, Ketu, and Scorpio, my 7th. Yeah, it has a lot to do with transformation and also getting rid of like this. I don't know. Getting rid of like the secrets, getting rid of the past life stuff, and it's almost like it's redesigning your entire outlook upon limitation and also upon relationships and how you view them and how you allow, if you allow relationships to control you. It's kind of like developing your own mindset, but you're going to have to go. That's why it's in Scorpio really, really deep to see what's there. Is it because you're yielding, or you people are shaping who you are because you're yielding, or is it because there's something there that has to do with like self-worth? Are you looking externally for validation, and that external look for the validation creates limitation and restriction, something like that? Libra Sun, yeah, see there, yeah. So your morals are gonna, that's interesting. So your morals are gonna be around relationships. I wear red on Wednesdays because I was in a car crash and it saved my life, and that's why I wear red, that kind of thing. Developing those morals. And so whatever kind of goes on with that Saturn placement and with the 7th house, it's going to directly relate to how you apply it to your life and to your morals. Absolutely. Then we have to get into like how your sun's aspected, how your Saturn is, and we can get into all that too to get a little bit deeper. But that's just kind of just general. IC in Cancer. Interesting. Yeah, my MC is in Cancer. My South Node is in sorry, it's a long stream. My IC is Capricorn, and my MC is Cancer. And it's everyone's 10th house is their MC. And I have my Chiron is right there too in Cancer as well in the 10th house. I have Jupiter in the 10th house too. Yeah, it's been crazy lately. Even me too. Sometimes I'm like, feeling a little off or dazed. I would suggest, guys, if you don't already, follow Aluna Ash Clairvoyant 9D. I think that's her name, Aluna Ash. Just type in Aluna Ash and she'll come up her channel. My God, girl is super connected. I mean, dope. She's amazing. Follow her. She's really good too. I like her channel and her stuff. My Saturn return was opposite North and South Node at like 1 degree or yeah. Wow, Catley, that's crazy. Yeah, right now I'm going through what is it? Saturn conjunct Uranus. Right now it's 0-degree orb, and Pluto's on my moon. And I'm going through like so many transits. It's ridiculous, and it's all remember my IC. I was telling you my IC. I have Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus all conjunct right by my IC. So that means when I have a transiting planet over my IC, right? Let's say Saturn, right? Which my Saturn return is coming up. It's almost there. When Saturn transits my IC like that, my restriction, my freedom, and my spirituality all get attacked. Not attacked, but they all are aspected at one time. Because Pluto's in my second house. It's all about self-worth. And do I feel I can't depend on external things to define my self-worth. So then my spirituality, in a sense, my restriction, and my freedom all get aspected at one time. So who's left? Me to figure it out. Sucks. That's my chart. I chose it. Yeah, Luna's super dope. Oh my God, she's amazing, that girl. Talk about connected. She's connected. Yeah, cat lady. People, it's funny. I mean, not too many astrologers looked at my chart because I don't, I'm very protective of my energy. But when they look at it, they're like, oh, cool. They start to like smile, and then they look down at my IC and they literally go, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, I know. Can we just move on, please? Like, it's bad. Someone who understands astrology, it's pretty sad. Oh, wow. That's crazy, Nada. I would suggest hitting up Yildiz Readings. She can help you out with that. She's super adept at and knowledgeable of the twin flame journey. Really, D? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Libra ascendant. I mean, remember I was talking to you guys about the shadow? My moon is in my 7th house. So, okay, check this out. Anyone who's a Libra rising, their chart is flipped. Check this out. Libra rising, the first house is Libra. Who defaultly rules the first house? Aries. Aries is the opposite of Libra. What's Libra? Libra rising second house. Second house is Scorpio. Who's the opposite of Scorpio? Taurus. Taurus defaultly rules the second house. It's all like that all the way through the entire chart. So Libra rising, that's why it's about the balance, and it's about what's fair, what's not. That's why Libra risings are very able to look at situations. They're always willing to hear the other person out. And we tend to be good looking and, a little true for me. No, I'm just kidding. But Libra risings do that. There's also, there's always a pro and the con with every rising sign. But yeah, it's weird like that. So I have Pluto in my 2nd house, and it sucks, but it is what it is. It's not look at situations where, why me? Why did it happen? It's look at it as what can I learn from it? Oh, it's Yildiz Readings. Yildiz. YIL. Here, I'll type it for you. My homegirl, I love Yildiz. There, I just typed it for you on Nada. Anything with twin flame, that's your woman. Go to her. Her channel is amazing. Oh, Venus and Mars in Virgo. Yeah, I have just sun. Okay, my sun is in Virgo in the 12th house, and it's conjunct Mercury at like 0.58 orbs. Pretty crazy. So I'm like all in the head. Yeah. It's crazy. When you really look at our chart, it's just like, whoa, when you break it down. Aries sun, Gemini moon. Oh, D, you're hilarious, huh? Gemini moons are crazy. I always say, like, when there's a party going on and everyone's drunk and you're drunk too, and like your jam comes on, like you'll be in the middle of like the dance for like, and then you'll start to hump stuff. Gemini moons are crazy. They're hilarious. They're so funny. I think Jennifer has a Gemini moon too. She's hilarious. You guys have like funny laughs. Like you guys are like, ah! You have like weird laughs. You guys are too much. Gemini moons. Oh, your Mercury is in Capricorn in the 10th house. That's home, because the Capricorn is the 10th house is defaultly ruled by Capricorn and Saturn. So a lot of Chuakwa, a lot of your the way that you maybe interpret things, or maybe not at this point because it's on your spiritual path. But before it was a lot about working towards achievement, you know, and feeling like I must do this because I'm responsible for this, because then people will then understand me like this. A lot of that, and it has a lot to do with like work and restriction, your the way you internalize things. You don't know, I'm stuck. Yeah, so you guys would just do funny, weird things like when no one's looking. You guys are just you guys are just hilarious. You're funny. You guys have a funny personality. You guys are fun. You know, you guys can always make other people laugh. Aries moons too, because I'm on here I'm a little bit different because I'm a little bit, this is my work. I'm a Virgo, it's a little serious. But other than that, and like outside of work, oh my God, I'm hilarious. I cuss a lot. I'm weird, and I'm spiritual as shit, right? See, I just did it right now. I'm spiritual as hell. I mean, I'm connected to the divine. I channel Jesus for crying out loud. But I'm still human, shoot. And I make crack jokes and all of that. But yeah, my moon's in my 7th house. It's just like, so my moon, my emotions and my instinctualness is in my shadow. It's pretty crazy. So like, and also Kimberly has that placement as well. Clairvoyant psychic medium Kimberly, she has that placement too, but hers is in Taurus, a little bit different. But people who have that, we have to be careful with our anger. We have to be careful with, we're almost scared of ourselves because we don't know what we're going to do. So when we're upset or mad, it's so easy for us to get into our shadow side and just pop off like that. And I have an Aries moon. Are you kidding me? So, but I've worked on all that, you know. Yeah, there you go. There you go. De-animate it. That's the best way. I like that word. That's the best word. Yeah, you guys are hilarious. Gemini moons. All right, guys, I'm gonna go and let you guys go. It's already 2 hours in, but I hope you guys like this. Like I said, check the description box. Everything's there. The PayPal links are there. And once the payment goes through, I'll get the confirmation email. I'll email you and we'll book your time and all of that. I'm also available on Facebook Messenger. I didn't put that down there, but I'll put that in later. On Facebook Messenger, guys, if you guys need to talk about stuff or if you guys do book, I can talk to you on Facebook Messenger and go back and forth, and we'll do it like that. I'm on Google Hangouts. I'm on Skype, all of that, guys. So you guys can get a hold of me if you guys ever need to, okay? Intuitiveperceptions@gmail.com. That's my email as well. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and log off here. Funny. I'm going to go and log off here, guys, but love and light, guys, okay? And just remember everything that I described to you guys, and remember whoever watches this too, rising sign, rising sign. Any astrology, the rising sign, I don't give a shit what that astrologer says. It's the rising. So if you guys watch like Leo King, if you watch Nadia Shah, rising, watch the one for your rising. The only time, I'll tell you guys now, that the sun can maybe be applied is if your sun and if your sun's in your first house, then okay, right, you can probably apply it. But other than that, your rising, always check your rising sign. That's the one you want to watch for a forecast of, not tarot, of astrology, how this is going to affect you, how that's going to affect you. Rising sign. Do not watch your sun nor your moon. If you want to watch them just to maybe see some influence, like for instance, my sun is in Virgo, right? And my rising is Libra, so they're right next to each other. So sometimes I watch both because the houses literally are one. It still matters, but just what, you know, it's my sun's in my 12th house, my rising's the first house, you know, so they're close to each other. So I just because I do that. But dude, your sun can be in like your 4th house, and then your rising's in your 1st house. And why are you watching a video for your 4th house? That's not where your houses begin. Like, so you're out here manifesting, trying to manifest something that you're not supposed to be doing. Like, that's what I'm saying. I do not know why astrologers, I don't want to get started, but why astrologers say that. It drives me insane. They just service you guys. It's horrible. So rising sign, okay? All in all, that's what I want to say. But yeah, guys, all right, I'll see you guys. Love and light, okay? And I'm sorry I was itching my damn nose so much. It's crazy. When I first got started on this journey, I remember I used to, like, when I would read and record the general readings for you guys, my nose would itch like I'm like all crazy. And then my ears, and now it's different. But all right, guys. See, I'm getting ahead. I'm talking too much over here. Jesus, my Aries moon. All right, guys. God bless, love and light. And like I said, I'm available on all of those platforms. You guys need to go get a hold of me or have any questions, okay? All right, guys. God bless, love and light.